What's going on, YouTube Metal Complex here, and today I've got an interesting video for you guys. Hopefully you find it interesting. I wanted to show what a Protech automatic, or a really well-made side-opening automatic knife from the United States looks like after nearly a year, I believe, of use. Now, this is a gentleman, his name is Steve, and he works at the dealership that I used to work at. He works in the service department as one of the heads. And he absolutely uses this knife every single day, whether it's at work or at his house, which is going to be apparent here in a little bit. Now, this knife has been shown on my channel multiple times. It was shown when it was kind of new. I bought it on the secondary market, and it had been used a little bit, and then I gave it to Steve, and it was in about 90% condition, and then slowly I kind of showed it like, hey, look at this thing, but now it's really been beat into the ground and is still functioning perfectly, and I wanted to show it off. He gave it to me to kind of clean up and touch up a little bit, and I'm going to do that for him, but I was so impressed with this knife. It has for sure been used, and not really. I mean, he doesn't really. Steve, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you're gonna watch this at all, but I don't believe you clean this at all. I think this thing just gets thrown into your pocket and used a lot like if you guys watch the video of the XM18 3.5 Fatty that my friend David uses every day. Kind of the same thing. This knife gets used as a tool, and you can see here. The blade, I know, is in and out and in between vehicle parts sometimes. You can see there he's dropped it. It's got a little ding in the aluminum. You can see the pocket clip is pretty worn. Backspacer back here definitely has some wear, probably from sliding it around on different surfaces. The front texturing, some of the black coating is worn off a little bit and on the edges. But he said for as often as he is sliding this thing around all over the place, it really holds up incredibly well. And I'm talking about the coating. As far as the switch doesn't feel any different than the day that I got it. You have to give it a good push. You know, it's not like a hair trigger. You got to give it a good push to get that blade to deploy. But once you do, it's not like a, you know, I felt odd, like that. We're going to talk about it in the Boker Kalashnikov video, and maybe because it's new, but it really grinds before it finally releases. This one's a simple, smooth push, and it fires. The blade has ever so slight left and right, and that probably can be fixed by tightening down the pivot, but no up and down, which is awesome for an automatic because most automatics, even the USA ones, the side openers, have a little bit of up and down blade play, and that's just part of it. But because of the nature of the lock, and the nature of the knife, it's not nearly as big of a deal as it would be on, say, a frame lock or a liner lock. I'm sure I'll have people disagree with me. That's fine. That's not really what this video is about. The point is that this blade has really stood up to everything that Steve has thrown at it. This is a CPM 154 blade, and I gotta say, Steve, it's actually not too bad. I mean, you definitely have some nicks and rolls in here, but you know what? Let's get a piece of paper so I can show you guys what it's doing right now after a year. CPM 154 in any ways after a year of use. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. And I know some of you are like, why don't you have that piece of paper ready so that you don't have to cut the video and then explain why you had to cut the video afterwards? Good point. I don't always think about it. I kind of just wing my videos, and that's probably how it always will be. Anyways, let's go ahead and try and kind of shove this through paper. I'm probably going to just have to saw blade it a little bit to get... you know what? It's not that bad. So I think this actually had a custom edge on it when I got it, and that's apparent due to the polish that's on the blade. You can see there, Protechs don't generally come with that type of polish. So I think somebody did that, and then I touched it up as I used it a little bit. But for as much as this thing gets used, that really wasn't that bad of a cut. That one was. But it depends on probably, yeah. If it catches, it's still going to cut. So I can see why, Steve, you felt no need to really mess with this. And Steve's not like a knife guy. You know, he's a guy who has a pocket knife, who uses it like a tool. And he said, you know, ever since he was a kid, he always wanted an automatic knife. And I said, well, Steve, I can get you an automatic knife because I have them. And so I made him a good deal on this, and I kind of wish I still had it because these are hard to find now. But love that blade shape. You know, this is a Les George collaboration with Protech, essentially a production version of his Well, the mid-tech's called the VECP. I forget what the custom's called. Actually the custom is probably called the Rockeye. In fact, yeah, that's what the custom is. So I think these ran about $200 when you could buy them brand new. And you had different options. I think there was a two-tone blade. You could get this all smooth. For me, as a working tool, I think this is probably the best version of it. You have this, I think it's a DLC coating, which obviously holds up ridiculously well. Look at that. For how much abuse the blade has clearly been put through, look how well that DLC coating holds up. Man, that's impressive. But nice drop point blade with a flat that carries out to about 70% the length of the blade there. Drops pretty high, so you get reasonably thin behind the edge. Nice, pokey tip without sacrificing too much of the blade thickness, which is about, I'm going to guess it's about 135, 140 thousandths. I don't know. Could be a little bit thinner. Might be as thin as about 125 thousandths. In fact, let's go ahead and look here. It's thicker than the Manix 2. So I'm going to guess it's about 135,000, something like that. I need to get a tool to measure that for sure. But, the handle's nice and thin. This is a very carryable and very friendly automatic for being one that's 8 1/4 inches overall. But that actuator switch still functions perfectly. The texturing is holding up. What were we talking about? We were talking about why I thought this was the best version for a working tool. It's because this smooth side allows the knife to be put away and then retracted very easily up against that smooth surface of the aluminum. Yet on the other side, where your fingers fall naturally, you gain the benefit of that texturing, which is really only in the area where your fingers fall. On top of that, this faux bolster or false bolster that they've got going on here, it adds a nice aesthetic to it. This line here, this groove dividing the textured portion and the smooth portion, and then how they have these chamfered all the way around. It just looks nice. This is a nice, simple looking automatic. It's very straightforward. Unlike the original Rockeye and the VECP, I've not owned the original Rockeye, but I've heard this. It's much like the mid-tech VECP. The jimping on the Protech version of this is actually functional. That actually will catch your finger. I'm pushing down pretty hard and there's traction there. On the VECP, I can definitely say there's no real traction there. It's almost just for show, which is interesting to me. I don't know why they would do it like that. But in any case, this is just a very well-made knife. You can see that the pocket clip's very similar to a standard Benchmade pocket clip. You're only going to have about this much hanging out. You can see there where it's been running into stuff. But honestly, the finish on the pocket clip is held up well. The back of it, you can see if he dropped it there on the butt a little bit. Aluminum holds up really well. I know a lot of people worry, I wouldn't make a frame lock out of aluminum, or I wouldn't trust an aluminum frame lock, but a lot of people trust the integrity of aluminum and how well it'll hold up over time. This thing gets beaten on, and you can see, what happens at the impact point of aluminum when it gets dropped. You get a little pock in there. No big deal, though. This thing bounces all over the place. Nothing's come undone. The spring feels just as strong. I asked him about the pivot. I said, did the pivot ever get gritty? And he said, no, I don't think anything ever really got in there. But we can kind of, not really. We can't really see down in there. Yeah, so that does not look like it's been cleaned to me. It looks like there's plenty of gunk in there. And this, yeah, you can even see there. There's gunk. There's lots of gunk in there. This is completely smooth. Completely. Look, here. Pull it all the way back to here. It's still locking out 100% even when you let it go right there. So, yeah, 100%. I love Protechs. They function incredibly well, and they are absolutely built to last if you need an automatic knife, or maybe if you just want one, If I want a side opening automatic, yeah, Microtech makes good ones, but honestly, in my opinion, the best side opening automatics in the world are made by Protech, and they clearly last. This is awesome. I think this knife is going to treat Steve well for a very long time, as long as he lets me do a little bit of maintenance on it every now and then. So, in any case, guys, I just wanted to show this. I like showing knives that we love, that I love, and that last. I like you guys to see, what they look like and how they function, because I think it helps people make a purchase. I know that this particular Protech is not one that's available currently, but maybe if you're considering a Protech and you're wondering, hey, how long are these things going to last? Is my money going to the right place? In my opinion, yes. With Protech, yes, it's going to the right place. This is a fantastic option. Protech as a company is a fantastic choice if you want an automatic that's going to last for a long time and is going to function well and is made to function. So in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, then please subscribe to my channel because there's definitely more coming. Thanks for watching and have a great day.